Hi everyone, and welcome to Introduction to American Studies. My name's Erin Santana, and I will be your instructor this semester. So for this video, I'm just gonna go through the syllabus, so we're all on the same page. Your only assignment due this week is just to fill out a student survey, which is due Sunday at midnight, and then we'll jump into the course content next week. So just for starters, I want to acknowledge that this is an incredibly stressful and traumatizing time to be alive. Some of you may find schoolwork a welcome distraction, but others may find it difficult to focus on. And I know I have been struggling to focus on anything for quite some time now. I have designed the course, therefore, to add a minimum of stress to your lives and my life by having consistent, predictable assignments and deadlines and built-in freedom to take a break. So take care of yourself, pace yourself, and just be in communication about what's going on for you. I hope that you can consider the time you spend on this course to be a sign of your commitment to intellectual growth and faith in your ability to understand and shape the world. American Studies is an interdisciplinary field that uses a wide variety of methods, theories, and sources to explore U.S. culture and history in a global context. And we'll be talking a lot more about that next week. The material we will study together will hopefully help you to make sense of or think differently about the various trials that we are currently facing. America is a set of places and people and ideas that is always contested, but such debates only periodically emerge in the form of mass uprisings and violence. And we are living through one of these times. Others include the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, the Depression, and the Civil Rights Movement. So when people say, we're living through history, of course we're always living through history to some extent, but we are definitely living through a particularly significant, I guess I might say, moment in history. And we'll be reading this semester about a lot of these prior moments in history that have led us to where we are now. So I'm going to share with you scholarship that has changed and informed my understanding of America. And I hope that at least some of it will have a similar effect on you. Given the fact that it's hard for all of us, I think, to focus on much these days, I've decided that I will just pick scholarship that I think is pretty fascinating. And hopefully my enthusiasm for it can rub off, at least in some cases. And I really do hope that some of this material has an effect on you, and changes potentially the way you see and understand the world. So we'll be covering 3 units on the themes of race and ethnicity, gender and sexuality, and nation and empire. Now, much of this material discusses various forms of physical and psychological violence and trauma. So we're already living through a lot of that to all sorts of various degrees depending on our experiences, and we'll be reading about more of it. So be kind to yourself. If you feel pain or discomfort, take breaks while reading if needed. Just because it's academic scholarship does not mean that it's not emotional. And I think it makes sense when reading about violence to have feelings about that. So I offer the assignments that you'll be doing as a confidential space to process your experiences, both with the readings, but also of just living under acute social, political, and economic tension. So for the weekly reflections that I'll go over, the first question is optional. It's always optional, and it is how are you feeling? So if you are looking for a space to write about how you're feeling, that's a space that I'm offering to you, but it is not required by any means. Now, a note on perspective. I am Jewish. I grew up in Brooklyn and the New York City suburbs, and I mostly experienced the world as a white person. Now, the relationship between whiteness and Jewishness is complicated, and it's something that we will study this semester. I understand that being taught about race by a white person may be uncomfortable for some of you, and I hope to do so with the utmost of respect. And I hope that you will feel comfortable letting me know if I have caused any of you harm in any way. I also speak from my experiences growing up middle class, working in predominantly Afro-Caribbean public schools in Brooklyn, and being in love and community with people of many gender and sexual identities. And I share this because scholarly study is one way to learn about America, and our life experiences are another, and it is impossible to completely separate the two. So I will be sharing my knowledge with you that comes both from my scholarly study and my experiences in the world. And I have chosen scholars who come from a wide variety of personal backgrounds and experiences to share their knowledge with us. And hopefully you will all have the chance and feel compelled to share some of your knowledge with the class as well. We will only begin to examine these complex and multifaceted topics. Each unit is 4 weeks. The first 3 weeks of each unit, we will practice reading and thinking about American Studies scholarship. And then the 4th week of each unit, you will demonstrate your understanding of this scholarship by imagining your own American Studies research project. And don't worry, you're just imagining the project, you're not doing it. So there's no research required for the class. But the ways that you will demonstrate your understanding of the field and the concepts we're studying is just by putting together, by using, right, your understanding in those concepts to put together a hypothetical imaginary project. So on the practice weeks, you will watch 10 to 20 minutes of videos and complete 20 to 30 pages of reading. And some of the videos are videos that already exist online that other people produced, but every week I will post a video lecture about the reading, and I will try to post those by Wednesday morning of every week. And the readings and the videos complement each other and provide entry points for those who learn different ways. So you're expected to do both, watch the video and do the reading. I suggest watching the video first because it'll give you a sense of what to expect in the reading. And then you can, lean on whichever is most helpful to you. And then on these weeks, you will write a brief reflection to demonstrate your effort to understand the material and to connect it to popular media or culture. So the purpose of this assignment is really just to demonstrate that you are doing the reading, that you're trying to understand the reading, and you will have the same question every week to answer, which is, how does this reading challenge or expand your understanding of America or Americans? Because like I said, these readings have challenged and expanded my understanding, so let's see if it has the same effect on you. And then you will also find, probably on the internet, something from popular media or culture that you think connects to the reading. So this could be a meme, it could be an article, it could be a song, a TV show, a movie, it could be a TikTok, something that I don't know much about. And anything that connects, that's not more academic scholarship, basically, because we're already looking at that. And so then you'll just, in your reflection, copy paste the link, or you could copy paste the actual image or article or whatever, and then just in a couple sentences explain how it's connected, right? Why is it connected to the reading? So that you'll be doing on most weeks, and then starting with the second unit, we'll add another question to that, and then the third unit will add a third question to that. And so we'll cover each of those as we go through the semester. So those are the practice weeks, and again, that will be 3 of the 4 weeks of each unit. And then the fourth week will be the assessment weeks, where you will demonstrate your understanding of the material by submitting a piece of your imaginary research project. And so we'll add a piece each unit. So the idea is that by the end of the semester, you'll have your whole imaginary research project, but at the end of each unit, you'll demonstrate your understanding of what we've been doing by submitting a piece of it. And I feel like the biggest distinction to understand between the practice reflections you'll be writing based on the readings and the lectures, and then the assessments that are part of your imaginary research project is that for the practice assignments, the main thing that I'm looking for is that you are doing the reading, watching the lectures, and trying to think deeply about the material. So completing it and demonstrating, right, the thinking that you're going through is the most important thing. On the assessment weeks, what I'm looking for is that you understand the concepts, right, that we are dealing with. So on the assessment weeks, even if you complete the task, if you're not getting it, basically, then I will ask you to redo it until you get it. So the point, right, is to learn things, ideally, is to think about things and learn things. And so we'll have, each unit a few thinking weeks, and then we'll have the week where you demonstrate, this is what I learned and I get it. So yeah, again, that's all just to emphasize that if you're still confused by the end of the fourth week of a unit, which is totally understandable, this material can be confusing, that's okay, but we'll just work together until you're not confused anymore. So that ideally, by the end of the semester, we know, right, I know and you know that you've learned, right, X, Y, and Z about this field. So I hope that makes sense. Also, at the end of the semester, you will demonstrate your overall understanding and opinions of the class in a final reflection. And the final reflection is mostly going to be sort of your feedback. So what readings did you like? What readings did you not like? What did the class teach you overall? Things like that. So I imagine the work will take you 3 to 5 hours total each week. A lot of it really depends on your own comfort with reading and writing. So if you're a slower reader or a slower writer, it'll take longer, and if you're quicker at those things, it will be faster. All assignments are due Sundays at midnight. So this way, if you, work during the week, you have the weekend. If you work on the weekend, you have the week. So that was why I chose Sundays at midnight. And you can take 1 week off of writing the practice reflection with no penalty. So at any point during the semester, any week that we're doing, right, the readings and the reflections, you can just let me know, hey, this week I'm taking off, and that's your prerogative. You cannot skip the project or the final reflection. And if you ever need to extend a deadline, out of respect, please just contact me in advance. So just let me know. I know a lot is going on right now, so I'm pretty flexible as long as you just let me know. And so you understand why that is. The deadlines not only pace your learning, right? So you're learning in a certain sequence and over a certain length of time, but the deadlines also help me to plan for how much student work I have to read and respond to every week. So you letting me know in advance that you'll be handing something in late helps me plan, right, when I need to be grading certain things. So submitting late assignments without a prior arrangement may negatively impact your grade. There are no mandatory live class sessions. This is an asynchronous class, so everything will be up on Canvas. This is my first semester using Canvas, so hopefully things will go smoothly. And everything hopefully will be very clearly organized for you on that. And you can work at your own pace, basically. So there is no mandatory time where we meet as a group. However, I would like to set up a completely optional time for group discussion and questions each week. I taught this class last semester and did not have that, and a lot of the student feedback was that people would have wanted a time to come together and discuss the material. So I'm offering it as an option. And I will schedule this based on your responses in your introductory survey. So please submit that as soon as possible. It's due Sunday at midnight. And I have a couple questions in there as to whether you would come to an optional session, and if so, when. So yeah, just please let me know, and then based on those responses, we can figure out a time. I also hope that you'll schedule one-on-one mentoring sessions with me so I can get to know you individually. I call them mentoring sessions instead of office hours because I know office hours can sometimes be intimidating to people, like they're being kind of quizzed on their knowledge of the material. And for me, really meeting one-on-one with a professor is a way of, yes, clarifying the material if you have questions, but also just building a relationship, right? And finding support in not only your academics, but your career more broadly. I have had some amazing mentors in my life that have helped me get to where I am now, and so I'm happy to meet with you specifically to talk about the work, but I'm also happy to meet with you to talk about just generally your goals and aspirations and help you network wherever you may be interested in going. And overall, I mean, I just hope that this course can offer some insight and inspiration into a dark time. I know it's a difficult time to be in school, to be working, to be doing anything, and my hope is that the material that we're covering and the way that we're covering it can be a positive addition to your life for the next few months. So with that, I hope you will go and finish your student survey right now. It's up on Canvas. There's also a discussion board, what are they called on Canvas? Well, basically a discussion that is just general questions. So if you have any general questions about the class that I'm sure other people would probably want answered, please post them there. If you have any specific questions relevant to your situation, especially things having to do with disability access or any other accommodations, please email me privately as soon as possible so we can get any of that sorted out. And yeah, I guess that's all for this week, and I will see you next week.